Day after Thanksgiving, everybody else is shopping. Another archery buddy, Mark, is here. We're shooting long range. I'm trying out these new DAS archery hunter limbs. They're longbow limbs strapped onto one of my Martin Jaguar risers. So it's only 40 pounds. But yesterday I was launching them all the way out to the 100 with very nice accuracy, and I didn't have my camera with. Today I do, so we're gonna go do some shooting. But first, the intro. This is what I wanted to test out. These are my new DAS bow limbs. 64 inches, 45 pounds, not 40, but they feel really good. Sitting on a Jaguar riser, they're ILF limbs, so you see me taking advantage of the ILF compatible faces on the Jaguars, the Martin Jaguars. That's why I like this razor so much. And then I've got a standard little flipper arrow rest. And I got another shooting buddy, Mark. Mark, say hi.
Hey, how are you?
This guy, Mark Reinhardt, makes his own bows. Everybody is in love with them. That's what he's shooting now. You can't even hear the things when they go. But we're heading out there at 100 meters. This is completely cold. Like other guys are showing up to do pennants day after Thanksgiving. 0 for 4.
She washed up a little bit. That's about as close as she's gotten. Yeah.
Ah, 1 for 5.
What you got there?
That felt good.
Oh man,
Chinese.
dude, I like that.
Last one.
For $100,
Huh?
for $109, $130. I got
Maybe.
it through Amazon.
Nope, just left. Let's pause. That's 1 for 6. I was actually shooting a little high, so I got to make a slight adjustment. This one does better than my 60 pound bow. I actually have to make a slight adjustment. Maybe aim just a hair lower from dead center. Pausing. This is the one that matters. This decides if I'm making progress or not. 3 for 5. Ooh. 4 for 6. We'll let everybody finish, and then we're going to walk down there. Because what I really want to do next, is actually put silencers on these new 35-pound recurve limbs. Let's go down. Yeah, Mark, you were telling me about, Mark was telling me about a little silencer called a wishbone, little rubber thing, kind of made out of the same material as those, what was that called in the 80s? Stretch Armstrong? You pull and pull and pull. You can't possibly pull that rubber apart.
It's one of the most dangerous toys you can have now.
Yeah.
It'll probably snap back and hit you. I saw in the paper the 10 most dangerous toys. They look like me, the most fun ones.
Yeah, the most fun, exactly.
Blunt force trauma and choking.
For us, it was
Oh, no.
getting our first motorcycles. But you got these little wishbones you can put on this silence. I'm gonna go get some at Cabela's in a little bit. But I thought, I got a couple of pieces of leather. I'm gonna just try throwing some leather on and see what it does.
You ever use cat whiskers? You know
Yeah.
it looks good. You got paracord?
Yes,
Okay.
make them out of paracord.
Take the
Hey, wait,
inside
let's take a
out.
look.
Take the inside of the paracord out and tie it on that way.
There's the 90-meter mark. There we are, round 3 today with that bow with the DAS limb sitting on the Martin Jaguar riser. That ain't bad for BAREBOW. All right, let's pause, pull them, and go shoot. Or this whole lesson is going to take a course change, and it's going to be about putting those little silencers on. What we're really doing today is testing out this cheap $79 Amazon riser that's ILF compatible and ambidextrous. Left side, right side. It had 20-pound limbs, just cheap. They already took a set, but what I did do was go out and buy some nice Hunter Deluxe 35-pound recurve limbs. Set me back $125 each. Correction, $129 for the pair of both of those limbs, not for each, like I said. Sorry, back to the video. We're shooting right off the shelf on this side. We're going to use one finger over the top for the gap. Here goes. Got it! First try! Tell ya, Hunter Deluxe limbs. You gotta love these things. Like I said, $79. Oh gosh, it feels so good to draw too. Two for $3. Mark, is that yours on the right? Dang. $90. There we are.
I'm just not drawing right.
That's Mark's on this side.
I'm just not
Those are mine shooting from that recurve.
right over the top. That would be good.
Not a bad group. Yeah, yours are just going slightly over. Even my misses are not bad. They're right in here. All right, let's pause. Let's go silence it with a little piece of leather and then see how it shoots too. So we're going to try this. We're going to fold it over like this, and then we're going to wrap it over the string and see if it stays on.
Oh, you're just using a piece of leather?
Yep. I have no idea if it's going to stay on through the vibration. This is all experimentation.
You got you on camera on that one, buddy.
Tim's going to look at me and say, that better fucking go on the outtakes, Mark. Outtakes! Let's see what that looks like. You guys seeing that? It's just an overhand, you know, the one of those double knots. So let's flip it upside down, do the same thing up here, and then take it for a shot.
Legs out of a turkey feather.
There we got another one. I'm going to let Marco pull his arrows, and then we're going to take this for a ride. So I'm going to hit pause. Hey guys, the video died. The video had to stop at the archery range because my battery died on my phone, so it's busy charging right now. I'm running up to Cabela's in Hoffman Estates to get those other silencers, but along the way it suddenly dawned on me I had a couple of epiphanies. One, how to do a better job of putting the leather ones on, where I'm going to actually wrap serving on there the same way like when I'm tying flies. There's called a whip finish. I'm going to put a whip finish on some serving thread, and the serving thread is going to be just on the, is going to be tied right onto the leather. The leather's just bent once around the string. No fancy knot, no nothing like that. So I'm curious to see how that works. But we're going to go and see if Cabela's has these wishbones anyways, and we'll give them a try too. Hey guys, we're back. I just came back from Cabela's. I went looking for those little wishbones. They didn't have them. The problem was we were trying to use a little strap of leather as a makeshift wishbone vibration damper, noise damper on this new cheap 17-inch ILF compatible riser. And I'm trying to dampen out these recurve limbs, because if you see right here, guys, this is where the string slap occurs, right here. When that line, when the string comes back like this, it makes a thwack against it, and we're trying to damp out that vibration. There's two things you can do. You can put in a little brush button right there, and it's going to help a little. You could put some kind of a bump. There's double-sided bumps that you can put on here, but I'm not a big fan of that, because you're adding a lot of mass to the end of your limb, mass that you tried really hard to get rid of to make the limb fast. So what we're going to try next is replacing this with, if I could find it, it would have been a piece of little small surgical tubing tied in that very same knot, but pulled so tight that I'm sure it wouldn't have come loose. It would stay snug. Instead, we're going to use some stuff I found at the local Ace Hardware, just some big rubber bands that we're going to snip off and do the very same thing. Let me pause for just a second. Okay, here's what we're going to use to start, guys. I mean, in the end, all you're strapping on there, all you're really strapping on is a little chunk of rubber. It may be space age rubber compared to this kind of natural rubber, but it's still just rubber that's vibrating, that's damping out some vibrations. So these are some garbage can rubber bands that I got at the local Ace Hardware, and all I'm going to do, put them on like that. Not a huge piece, not this big of a piece, but you get the idea what I'm going to try to do. So let's cut a piece off. It's going to be roughly the same length. Let's tip this down. I see Dan's arriving. Cool, I'm not alone today. Right about there. You see that here's my piece of leather. So I'm going to pull out my scissors here. Got all kinds of goodies. I came to design on Saturday. Oh, the other thing we're going to do, we're going to use Velcro. 2 little Velcro squares to actually pad my my riser shelf here, the arrow shelf, and the what do they call it, the plate, the riser plate. Meanwhile, my dog's going to go say hi to Dan. This is Makeshift Saturday. Let's start off with the first cut. I'm going to cut this a little bit at an angle so it looks kind of nice. We're going to measure this, cut again. There I've got my first piece. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the next piece. I think this is all I'm going to need. It either works or it doesn't. And now we're going to loop this on. If I have any excess, I'm just going to trim it off. Put it right about there. What I'm hoping is that the rubber is going to actually be able to resist popping out a lot better than the leather. And I think we're onto something. Well, that tore. Damn it. That didn't work out at all. Let's try one more time. Hey Dan.
What's up?
I'm making rubber bowstring dampers. Don't laugh. I'm on film, so you can't laugh at me on film.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't want your audience to think anything poorly about you.
No. Oh, they see me for real shooting. They always see the misses. You know, they got these little wishbone thingies. They're just essentially space age rubber.
Yeah.
I couldn't find them at Cabela's an hour ago. All right, we got a couple of rubber bands on that look like that. We're going to see how they dampen that vibration out at the same time before I start shooting. We're going to take only the fuzzy side. Any piece of Velcro is made up of two pieces since the space program started. It's called hook and loop, technically. We're going to use the loop side for a makeshift fur. Actually, we could have used either of them. Both of them are waterproof, but I like the fuzzy side. So, starting to get windy here. Better bend this in. First thing I'm going to do is carefully clean my riser. There. Using space age cleansing fluid. Now we're going to put our little piece on here. Try to do it right where the arrow is going to make contact with that riser. See how it's curved? Usually that's directly underneath where you see the hole, and a little bit, just a hair forward. So it's going to be right about there. You'll see that when the arrow's completely knocked, it's actually sitting on that. That's where the crown of the arrow shelf is. And I'm going to put one more here just to cover that hole up too. Goes pretty fast as opposed to throwing away piece after piece after piece of actual fur. If you don't have it to spend, this works really well. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. Check that out. Time to go test it. Let me get the camera set up. I'm going to pause. We're going to shoot right out at 100 yards, right from the start. Okay, we're getting set up here. Getting my glove on. All right, here goes. We're shooting at 100 meters. Cold. But now we've got, see how quiet it is? Now we're on an arrow shelf. Quiet. Very nice. Nice and quiet. As far as the shelf goes. Whew. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, gosh, these limbs feel nice. These recurve limbs from Hunter Deluxe. No, they don't give me anything, but I'm hoping eventually they'll like what I do. Hunter Deluxe, real nice curve inside here. Smooth. It feels like one of the Asian bows that I just recently bought. All right, step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under the chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, tip of the arrow right on the target. Step 5, small motion release. Just a hair right. Oh, just missed. Not a bad first start. Let's shoot a couple more. You guys don't need to hear the 5-shot sequence anymore. Shot 2. 1 for 2. Quiet. Dan, nice shot. Just inside the 12-inch mark at 8 o'clock with his Asian bow. Here, we got to see. Dan shooting with a thumb ring and an Asian bow from AF Archery, the place where I got my 2-piece that I had a revelation on. All right, let's go. We're working 1 for 2. We're shooting the 3rd shot. Just a hair left again. Maybe. 2 for 4. I'm going to be putting the tip of the arrow right over on this side, just about 6 inches right of, 6 inches left of center. Because of that flag, see that drift? I have to account for that. But now I know where I'm putting it. Okay, here goes shot 5. Maybe? Just missed it, didn't drift.
Yeah. Where are you off to? No. I like that shooter over there.
3 for 6. Round 2. What did we learn about this? The rubber does seem to be staying on. It's not going anywhere. This one needs a little adjusting maybe. But it does seem to be staying on. Maybe coming loose a little bit. What I'm really pleased about is the riser is way quieter. What I'm going to be doing with this riser though, you guys see this edge right here? That is biting into this bigger hand. So this is going to have to get filed off later on. You can do that when you only spend $79 on the riser on the whole bow. Let's shoot some more. Step 1, choose a gap. The gap started, remember, here's my 20-meter gap. 30, up 1/2 finger, 40, 50, 60, 70, and since I have to jump up 20, it's a 2-finger, it's a 1 finger above, 1 finger above the arrow is actually my 90-meter gap, and it works pretty well. I'm aiming right at the dot because the flag has gone quiet, so I'm putting the tip of this arrow, you guys, the tip of this arrow, what's hard for me to see is the center of that target right now. This is what my shot picture looks like. I'm looking with the tip of the arrow right smack on the center of that target and then releasing. Let's do it. Little left. Oh, yep. That's a tiny target there, guys. Do the math. Compared to a 10-meter target, that target face down there is about 1/16 the size. Another correction. The size of that target down there is 1/9 the size of the target at 10 meters because it's 9 times as far, and that same width of target reduces like similar triangles. Remember when your geometry professor said, someday geometry is going to save your life, Mr. Vogt? That's exactly what just happened. So it's 1/9 the size of the target at 10 meters. Then it's 1/9 at 90 meters, the size of the target, that same target face at 10 meters. Back to the video. I'm 0 for 1. One for 2, I think. 1 for 2. Missed on the left. To the right. Two for 5. Target panic though. You guys are seeing it on the camera. As soon as the tip of the arrow gets on that dot, it goes, I jerk to the right, jerk to the right, jerk to the right, and then I have to try to calm down, hold it there, and put the last one in. It takes work when you develop target panic. It sucks. Got a little wind now. This time I'm aiming right to the 9 o'clock edge of the target. All right, we ended up with 3 out of 6. I'm literally putting the tip of the arrow at the 10 o'clock edge. And it got pushed, literally, it's really windy down there. It got pushed a foot off the target. So we ended up with what, 4 for 6? Clear!
Except for Americans, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants them. All right, last round, guys. I mean it.
Most people who buy these bows want them this way.
I think this is the 4th time I've said it's my last one. Archery time, guys. Archery time. It's such a nice day.
That's how it works, right, Freckle?
The cool thing about shooting a 35-pound bow is that I've been here for a couple hours and my shoulders just feel good. They don't feel like something's going to happen, like with the 60-pounder. Boy, you notice that. And I still get the range because you see I'm anchoring under my chin. So with that extreme elevation on the arrow, I still get the 100-meter range with a 35-pound bow. What's not to like about that? target panic, guys. It sucks. Every shot you got to take all this extra time to override that reaction. Last shot. Still went over? Wow. Outtakes. Outtakes. Let's finish the day over at the 30-meter bag, trying to find what the two values are, my string walking values, the 20-meter gap and what my 10-meter interval gap is. So here I'm setting up for 30 meters to use to test it. Takes a little longer, but I'm going to assume, I'm going to start, I already shot one round, so I know that my 20-meter gap, my 20-meter gap is actually 3 fingers, so 30 is going to be, actually my 30-meter gap is 3 fingers. That means my 20-meter gap is going to be 4. So let's just do 3 fingers here. 30 meters, 3-finger gap. Step 2, draw back onto your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right on that orange dot. Step 5, this is a tough one when you're tired. Small motion release. It's not bad. I heard one hit, guys.
You hit the wood and it bounced out. At least I'm glad I hit it.
They're having way more fun than me. The peer pressure is tremendous. I'm switching the camera over and shooting at the 100. Oh, that looked really good. Here we go. Right over the top. I must be drawn longer. That wasn't just good. That was like what? 5 inches up and 2 inches over from dead center. Wait, you stopped? You're not going to shoot again?
3 arrows.
Okay.
He's going to conserve.
I'm gonna pull a mark in it in the quiver.
I'm so pushing a little right, little left, sorry. That was good. That was in the middle somewhere. It was really quiet.
Can't tell if it was high middle or middle middle.
Yeah.
Like 4 o'clock. They're out 4 o'clock.
They start to get quieter. When they hit the outside of the target face, they make more of a splat. When they hit the inside where everybody's punched it full of holes, then it kind of makes a thud. That's what you're hearing.
I think at this point, almost every.
Throw it away to the left. Last one. Two out of 4. Let's go get them. Actually, let's go. Clear. Let's go see how that 30 meter sighting did. That was looking pretty good. Gosh, these limbs are faster than my other 60-pound bow. And they start off tougher, they pull harder, so they actually have more energy at full draw, ready to deliver at a 30-meter target than my 60-pound bow. Those are my other 2 buddies that are shooting their Asian bows.
And he also makes
Shooting daily. You know, you could say that there's actually a, maybe not aerobic, but there's a calorie burning aspect to this. When you're shooting out at 100 meters and you go 10 times, that's 1,000 meters. That's a kilometer. Correction, guys. When you walk 100 meters in one direction and you do that 10 times, that's a kilometer. But when you walk there and back, that's actually 2 kilometers. That's 1.5 miles. Just going 10 times. You've already walked 1.5 miles. Back to the video. You do that another half again as many times. You do that 15 and there's 1 mile that you walked. It's pretty easy to burn up 10 laps, I guess you'd call it. 10 laps. We got a couple of really nice arrows coming up here. Check these out. There's 80. There's 90. And there's the VOGTLAND shooting method. That is mine. But this is also, these are what the Asian bows can do at those distances. Damn. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. My other shooting buddies are Dan. You're hiding behind the target.
And
Dan McGee and last name Herrera. See you guys. All right, we're continuing to sight this one in and understand what the 20-meter gap is and what the 10-meter interval gap is. And what it's turning out to be is that my 20-meter gap is 4 fingers and my 10-meter interval gap is 1 whole finger. That it's 3 fingers to get out there to 30. Already got 1 out there. I'm just going to put the other 5 in. Picking a 3-finger gap for 30 meters. A little high. Might have been me. Starting to make noise again that it's doesn't have that vibrant, that silencer. It's more pronounced when you're actually shooting a wide gap at a short range like that. Better. The left-right grouping is nice. They're staying kind of tight. I'm just walking down from the top to the bag to the bottom. Putting the tip right on that orange dot and seeing where it really ends up. Oh Jesus, right on the orange dot. Yeah, my 30-meter gap is 3 fingers. My 20-meter gap is 4. That means my interval is 10. My interval gap. I absolutely nailed that. Let's see if I can do that again. 3 fingers. Putting the arrow right, the tip of the arrow right on that orange. Trying to do a very small motion release. Nah, shot high. Yep.
You making friends?
Knuckles, are you being good? Last one. The shelf is quiet. That makes me happy. Not bad. Arrow picked it up. Or the wind. What did we learn today? This video is getting really, really long, so I gotta cut it off. We learned how to make a few different cheap string silencers. You can make them out of rubber bands, you can make them out of surgical tubing, you can make them out of leather, but you're going to have to whip finish to hold them on. If you try to tie them on, the vibration is going to loosen them every single time. If you got the money, go and buy the little wishbones. And you guys learned how to make a poor man's cheap rug arrow rest for the shelf and for the plate here that works really, really well, and it's just made from the fuzzy side of the Velcro. Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. We'll see you out there. No time to set the camera up on a tripod. The sun went down. It's getting dark. There's even a full moon in the sky. But I just got done shaping this part of the handle. Remember I said I was trying to take the edge off of it so that it's a little more rounded and more comfortable in my bigger hand than in the hand that it was designed for, a smaller hand from different culture, smaller hands. Anyway, shot pretty good. I put 6 over there. Let's go take a look. One of them I think is really close. It was quiet. It did that boom instead of that whack. So one should be pretty good. 2 are in the wood. But I think I actually landed, I guess you could say I landed 6 for 6. Just as the moon's coming up and the sun's going down, but 2 of them I think are in the wood of the target. So it's up to the audience to decide if that's really on or not. But at least 3 should be on the target. 1 of them, 2 of them maybe, I think were really good. We'll find out in a second. There's the smiley face at 70 meters. Moon. There's 80 meters. I'm looking ahead here. Yeah, I see one in the wood, but some of them look, 2 of them in the wood. But there's 90 meters, and there's what we're looking at. All 6 are on the target. Wood, but 4 in here. 1 damn near bullseye. That would have been a 10. VOGTLAND shooting method on a recurve bow with an ILF riser and 35-pound limbs. That way over there, guys, is where I was shooting from. 100 meters. Whoosh, the whack. And I was pointing right at that target. My arrowhead. Let me just wiggle this off. It's not even in there deep. It's coming out. Just let the arrow's own inertia shake it loose. And you'll feel it start to come out if you put your thumb right on the arrowhead. There. When I was aiming, this is what it looked like. Windier in the windier part of the day. I told you I was at 10 o'clock over here because the wind was literally carrying it all the way over. And at my back, it was actually losing a little bit of yardage. So I was around in this area. But tonight, with the moon out and the wind completely dead, I was actually aiming right about here. And that's where I was landing with a couple of guys. I'm just tired, so they shot a little bit low. But I'm pointing. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the tip of the arrow right here. That's where I'm aiming, and it's landing right there. That's pretty cool, that method, VOGTLAND shooting method. That's it. I gotta go. Bye.